And the truth is, all is not lost. And that is the objective, to keep hope alive. There is I mean, what we say, listen, no matter what you're going through, what is your challenge, what is your downfall,
Right.
what problems that you're having, hope. Keep hope alive. And don't see that as the end result. See that as a stepping stone to something bigger and greater that you want to accomplish. The Optimist Show is about news, information, entertainment, and activism. Welcome to the Optimist Show podcast, and we want to welcome all of you wherever you are this time, and thank you very much for joining us as we continue to keep hope alive. The Optimist Show brings you the information as it is, and so we are glad to be with you today so that we can share together. Please like and share, subscribe to our channel, The Optimist Show, keeping hope alive.
Carriacou and Petit Martinic. Carriacou, Petit Martinic. Changes are coming. No more will you be forgotten. Get ready for a night of love, respect, and community celebration. Introducing The Optimist Show, Appreciation, Community Awards, and Dinner. Join us on Saturday, August 30, 2025 from 5:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. This special event will be held both virtually on Zoom and in person at the Mermaid Beach Hotel in Hillsborough, Carriacou, so everyone can join in. Enjoy an evening of love, respect, and community bonding, followed by a social gathering to foster networking and connection. Tickets are just $50. Don't miss out. For more information, contact The Optimist Show at 1473-419-5479 or 1473-407-4597. The Optimist Show, Appreciation, August 30, 2025. Let's come together to recognize and celebrate our community.
It's estimated 1 in every 10 people in Grenada have the sickle cell trait. Having the trait does not mean you are sick or unhealthy. Very healthy people have the trait. Unfortunately, many of these people are unaware that they carry the trait. You see, when 2 people with the trait have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will be born with the sickle cell disease. That is why it is important to know if you have the trait. Sickle cell is associated with life-threatening conditions, and it can be very painful. You see, the body's red cells can pass freely through the arteries and veins, but the sickle cells can get stuck, and this is what causes pain. This disease, you cannot catch it from someone. It is inherited. You are born with the trait or the full-blown disease. It comes from your parents. So let's talk sickle cell and what it is about and what can be learned about it and how to live with it. Let's all make better decisions about our family's health by learning the facts and getting tested. A message from the Sickle Cell Association of Grenada. Please call 458-6399 or email us at grenadasc@gmail.com.
Well, let me welcome all of you again to the Optimist Show podcast for today. And it is my pleasure to have a conversation with one of the many persons who have been involved with the making of this Optimist Show in terms of its production, in terms of where we go. And because we do have conversations from time to time looking at the various issues that we discuss from on the show. And I'm talking about the person who you see at the end of the podcast saying, listen, I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time. I'm talking about Randa Noel. Yes. Good day to you. And just let me say to the listeners and those who are viewing at this time that I will be on the other end for this podcast. I normally come and ask questions to people, and they respond. But I am subjecting myself to be asked questions as we consider the making of this Optimist Show by Randa. Randa, it's over to you, and welcome again, and nice to have you on this show.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Coy. And as always, it's a pleasure to be on the Optimist Show. And to the listening audience, this is like my hometown away from home. I am thrilled and super excited because this is considered one of the best because I am going to interview Mr. Coy, a man that, in my opinion, stand firm when it comes to keeping hope alive. So thank you so much, Mr. Coy, for having me and giving me such a great opportunity. And I'm looking forward to getting started.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. So, Mr. Coy, first question. How long have you started the Optimist Show?
Oh, wow. The Optimist Show is about 3.5 years old. I lived in Grenada for many, many years. After I returned from studies in Trinidad, worked in Grenada for many years in various aspects. But one of the things that I have gone into is the media. I have owned two local newspapers in Grenada, the Observer, the Grenada Observer, and one called Hotline. I've also done several media outlets. For example, one time I established an outfit called Grenada News Network. And another time, again, as time went on, I have the CAMS Training Institute. So I have been there for a while, and I've returned to Carriacou just about around 2020, and that's about 5 years ago. And so while here, the journalistic spirit in me propelled me, I would say, to continue that kind of, because my thing about media is information and education,
Sure.
and the role of the media is really to inform, educate, and entertain. I mean, you go in any journalism book studies, they will tell you the role of the media is to inform, educate, and entertain. So in my quest, in my desire to continue the education process that I've been doing on Grenada, is to consider doing what I think would inspire and motivate people. And that is the Optimist Show. When you think about the word optimism, it tells you what this program is about. And of course, the tagline that we use is keeping hope alive. And so that's where it started. That's where it started. That's how it started. That's why it started. It's a continuation of my journalism, I would say, from many, many years. And in fact, I also worked for the Grenadian Voice. I rose to be the sub-editor at one time. I worked for the Grenada Informer. And there are other newspapers and news outlets that I have contributed towards, not only in Grenada, but in the region. So that's the foundation in my mind, because I had this drive and desire to educate people and to inspire people. Because to think about the fact that keeping hope alive, we live in a world where there are so many things happening to people, and people are crumbling under pressure. People are breaking down, health-wise, spiritually wise, academically wise, because there are so many pressures on them. And I believe that we need to keep hope alive. All is not lost. And that is really the essence of and the beginning of the Optimist Show here in Carriacou, some 3.5 years ago.
Right, and straight to the point. Mr. Coy, I can definitely see the passion. All that, body language tells me that you're a great man of purpose and you know exactly what you're going to do. Now, to add, what would you say were the objective of the Optimist Show?
Yes, well, I covered some of that just a while ago there by saying that it is to inspire people. It is to motivate people, because we live in a world where it's hostile and where people are not genuine and people do not respect and encourage each other. And so it was, as the tagline for the Optimist Show says, keeping hope alive. We want to give people hope. There are a lot of people who are downtrodden, who have been abused, who are facing challenges, families and homes and schools and so on. And the truth is, all is not lost. And that is the objective, to keep hope alive. There is what we say, listen, no matter what you're going through, what is your challenge, what is your downfall,
Right.
what problems that you're having, hope. Keep hope alive. And don't see that as the end result. See that as a stepping stone to something bigger and greater that you want to accomplish.
Nice. Well said. Well said. And just another question again. What would you say when you talk about the growth and development of the Optimist Show? Well, how would you balance that out?
Yeah, well, like everything that I've done in the media, there has been a growth. I remember, for example, I used to do a morning show on a radio station in Grand Anse. That was at the Greener Trade Center. So it was GTC Radio, and there was one of the levels of education that I pursued and shared with the public. I also worked and did some radio work. I'm talking about now in with Spice Capital Radio. So I'm saying that to say that the Optimist Show developed from a standpoint. At one time it was radio. At one time it is now it is now podcasts online. So there is a developmental process that's taking place, just as what happened to me from radio, from newspaper. Remember, I said earlier on, I worked with newspapers, I owned newspapers, but as time went on, I went on to radio, working in this radio station. I did some work with GBN and radio stations, and now it has grown to be live as a podcast,
Absolutely.
online. There is a growth. I cannot say what can happen after this. Once the medium creates the opportunity for us, we will grow towards that and reach people with the same message. Although we are growing, the message remains the same. So that is the path I'm seeing as it relates to the growth and development of this Optimist Show, because in every era, in every generation, we need to keep hope alive.
Absolutely. Keeping hope alive. Well said, Mr. Coy. And so what would you say when in regards to the positive things of the Optimist Show? Some of the positive things.
Well, some of the positive things on the Optimist Show is that it gives people an opportunity to have a conversation.
True.
You may hear me I hardly talk about doing an interview. I have a conversation. And, when we have a conversation as we have it now, we just speak, we just chat, we just, share. And that is exactly one of the positive things, because a lot of people would meet me afterward and say, listen, I listen to you, to your explanation for certain things. I listen to you, and I understand it. And of course, my objective personally is to get understanding. You might have education, you might have intellect, but understanding, I'm saying, is what helps us as a human being. If we don't know that putting our hands in our mouth and bite it will cause pain, you know what I mean? We have to understand there are some things that we can do, and we do, and understand the consequences of those things also. So in my view, one of the positive things I would highlight is the fact of getting to know stuff. Knowledge is power. And you would always hear me talk about that on the podcast, talking about getting to know. And that's one of the reasons why, in fact, we have just, we have a slogan. You can rely on the Optimist Show. You can rely on the Optimist Show for accurate information. And Rhonda, you said it. You say it at the end of the program. So please, that is something people need to understand.
Yes.
What we say is not just we make it up in our heads, in our minds, and we trying to spread some kind of theory, but we go at lengths and at pains to ensure the reliability of what we say because we want to speak the truth.
Yes.
We want to speak the truth. And yeah, I mean, we will have our own ideas. Guests will have their own ideas and on certain things, I mean, perspective on certain things. But we are concerned on the Optimist Show to be reliable. So when you listen to us, you say, oh, I heard it on the Optimist Show because you know it is reliable.
Right.
And of course, we also add it is accurate. I mean, if we don't know certain things, we will say we don't know, but we will not pretend that we know because we believe in accuracy and being reliable. And let me just put this in here. You know, I mentioned about Cam's Training Institute earlier on,
Right.
and as one of the things, and it was as a response of the complaints I've been hearing and complaints I've been getting as to the media. The media is this and the media is that. But I understand. I understand the reason why I work in it for some 35 years. No. So I understand what is lacking was training. Training. You can't want to be a nurse. You can't want to be a nurse if you just like the uniform. You have to be trained. You know, you can't just like to be a doctor if you like to have a telescope around your neck. That's not how it goes. Trained first and then put the telescope around your neck afterward.
Yes.
You know, so the idea of Cam's Training Institute was training at the focus, and I've had several training of media people. A lot of the people in media know I've had some kind of connection with in some way what I was doing, either Greater News Network or Cam's Training Institute. And so I'm saying that all that to say that training is so important, and we want to see people improve professionally and personally, and so that's what drives us. That's what drives the engine to ensure that all media people have exposure, access to training, and that is it. You know, we would keep on training people. There are a lot of people in the media at present who had their beginnings with one of our media outlets and media training. I mean, that is exciting for me. And I would think that we have been in Carriacou now, I will say back home, that would continue because people need to know how to do,
Right.
what to do, when to do. Training, you know, and it is important. And the reason why I made reference to this is because one of the things that we have in training, in our training program, is the idea we have what we call the ABC of journalism. People who come to our training would notice we talk about the ABC of journalism. And what do we mean? A is for accuracy, B is for being balanced, and C is for clarity. So if we apply that in our work, accurate, if we know it's not true, do not say it because it's not accurate.
Right.
If we know it's not balanced, don't give one side all the talk and all the opportunity to say, and the other side you then say anything. So you have to be balanced. And the final thing in the ABC of journalism, as far as Cam's Training Institute is concerned, is clarity. If I start speaking Spanish or Dutch or Russian to you now, you don't understand what I'm saying. I use the word understanding early on. So
Right.
understanding, and so I have to be clear. If I'm speaking English, English language might not be in the same, colloquial way, but at least I speak in a way that you could understand. You have clarity in what I am saying. You have understanding in what I'm saying. Because my communication is not just to talk, it's to ensure understanding, understanding, and that's what the Optimist Show really stands for, getting people to understand the issues of the day, understand it from different perspective. Yeah.
Yes, and said very clear. And you can always rely on the Optimist Show. So, Miss Okoy, why do you think that we all need the Optimist Show?
Oh man, that is an interesting question. Why do we need it? The same reason why I started it, so that we can all get clarity, we can all get understanding. Um, you know, you will see lots of conversations and lots of debates and back and forth on social media.
Right.
And that's one of the means of communication. Yes. But on the Optimist Show, we also see it as a means of communication to ensure that people understand. We want families to understand how valuable they are. We want young people to understand that they are important and don't throw away their lives because of misinformation. Yeah. We want farmers to understand that they too are important, and how the community need to support them. So it is about understanding, and that's why I think the Optimist Show is relevant and important. It gives accuracy, or is accurate in its information, is balanced,
Right.
and we give clarity so that there can be greater understanding on the issues of life, the things that affect us every day. Yeah.
I I am soaking it all in like a sponge. And well said, Miss Okoy. And just to end, I would like for you to tell the audience, where do we go from here? Where does the Optimist Show go from here?
Well, where do we go from here? You may know, Randa, that we are planning to have this event on the on the end of this month. I think it's the 30th of August.
August.
And it's called the Optimist Show Recognition, Appreciation, and Award. Now,
Right.
I'm answering the question, where do we go from here? Because this, in my view, culminates all these years that I have been given in terms of media. And I believe over the years, I have seen people who have also contributed. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but there are people who have contributed. And I want to appreciate. I want people to understand that, hey, listen, you are seen. Although you might not be recognized at a high up level, and so on and so forth. But we want people to know that you are seen, what you are doing, the sacrifices that you are making, the contributions, and whatever it is. It might be just empowering one life. That is important. That one can multiply into 100. Yeah. So I'm saying this event we're planning to have going to be like a bridge. Yes, the end of this phase. In terms of keeping hope alive, in terms of getting people to understand the issues and so on. That event will catapult us to go forward, because it would be a different, new, and a higher level we are going to be at now. Where we're going from here, we're going to use the experiences that we have had in the past,
Right.
all these years. Well, talking about the Optimist Show, not necessarily my own journey in media, but talking about the Optimist Show, we are going to be going up, and higher, so that more people. We have to also train ourselves, retrain ourselves, because we have different people. In my time, 20, 30 years ago, when I was involved in media, there are people who are thinking differently, So we have to really retrain ourselves to come again and continue the process of keeping hope alive.
Well said, Mr. Coy. I'm telling you, this is the step that we all are taking, and it's of course in the right direction. And keeping hope alive, I mean, that is played in my head so often that it just comes out so naturally. So you heard Mr. Coy on where they're going next, August 30th, right? It's going to be
Yes.
big. It's going to be huge.
And,
Recognition.
and just for clarification in terms of what people might try to understand what you're talking about when you talk about August 30th. It's this award ceremony. We also want to recognize community people, um, yeah, for whatever they are doing. I mean, the simple things most times go overlooked.
True.
And we look for the bigger things and the bigger people and the bigger with names and so on. But we want to also give people within the communities here in Carriacou and Petit Martinique the recognition. And so we'll be giving them an award. We have gone through the process. We have identified a few of them. We can't do it. We can't do all right now, but it's going to be a continuous process. Every year we're going to recognize people for the contributions that they are making to the development, to the growth. They have made they have made some family better off because they contributed sacrificially. So we want to not just pass them by and do as though nothing happened. Each of us, in our own way, we have contributed to somebody, something. And I want us to understand that that's where our value and our purpose is to help to build lives and communities. So, I think I know the future is going to be great. When I see this sown, the first week or the first month of that growth is only a small spectre out of the ground.
Right.
But with time, it become a big tree. In time, the birds can now find rest on it. In time, human beings can find shade to relax when they are tired under the tree. That same seed. So I want that to be part of the experience as we grow from strength to strength, keeping hope alive.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Milton Coy. That was amazing, and you said it straight from your heart. And I know that the Optimist Show will continue to go on and on and on. And of course, on August 30th at the Mermaid Beach Hotel in Hillsborough, would be the best place to be, to support one another, to support the community, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, the audience out there. Make sure and support us. So thank you so much, Mr. Coy, for giving me the opportunity to interview you. It's an honor and a privilege. So thank you again.
Thank you so very, very much, Randa. I do appreciate. I must also put on record my appreciation for the contributions that you have been making. Your songs do inspire. Your songs do cause us to stop and think and listen. And it's not just the rhythm, but we're talking also about the lyrical contents that you sing about, that you write. So thank you so very much. I recall one song, Rise Again, Rise Again. Yes. So I thank you. And I also want to thank Autry. Autry is the person behind the scene. He is I refer to him as the technician, but he's more than just a technician in general terms. But he is someone who is grounded, supporting and producing the Optimist Show. And to all of them, Amber, everyone, thank you so very much. We have gone through many transitions from scratch. And here we are in 2025. Because we kept hope alive, here we are in 2025, can say we see the future. We see the future bright. And not just a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a beaming light, like a lighthouse.
Yes.
We see it going forward. And I want to encourage all of us who are part of it. I may not call everybody's name, but all of us who are part of it to continue to keep hope alive, because there is a brighter day coming with the Optimist Show. Be optimistic. Be optimistic. Don't feel that what you are going through now is the end.
Sure.
In fact, it can be the catalyst for the future. Thank you.
All right, and you heard it there from Mr. Milton Coy. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Carriacou, where traditions, culture, and connections meet. Conscious tours can provide an experience of a lifetime. Getting to know the people and their lifestyles. Visit historical sites. And the taste of a sumptuous local cooking. Enjoy the ride. With Conscious Tours, Carriacou. Providing quality memories. Special and complete weekend packages for up to 7 people are available. For reservations, call 1-473-407-4597. Conscious Tours, Carriacou.
Thank you for joining the Optimist Show. Please let us know what you think by leaving a comment and giving us a thumbs up and subscribing, and of course spreading the word. You can always rely on the Optimist Show to deliver accurate information, and guess what? I'll see you on the next show. We shall run, oh, run, and we shall grow stronger than before. We shall run, oh, run, and we shall go further than you